The 11th of May, 2026, Monday morning. We are in chapter 7 of Common Buddhist Texts, Guidance and Insight from the Buddha. Chief Editor, Dr. Mahaprat Dhammakosajan. Chapter 7 is on ethics, as we start from the perspective of the Theravada tradition. Kusala and akusala, kamma, so wholesome and unwholesome actions. Wholesome and unwholesome actions and their roots. This passage highlights certain bodily, verbal, and mental actions as akusala, unwholesome or unskillful, not informed by wisdom, and abstaining from them as kusala, wholesome, skillful. The former spring from one or more of the three kinds of roots. The motives of greed, the motives of hatred, and deluded orientation. The latter spring from the opposites of these, literally non-greed, non-hatred, and non-delusion. Examples are anti-greed, etc., generosity and renunciation, loving kindness, compassion, and wisdom. Friends in the Dhamma. What is unwholesome and what are the roots of unwholesomeness? Destroying life, taking what is not given, engaging in misconduct with respect to sensual pleasures, telling lies, divisive speech, harsh speech, idle chatter, intense desire, malice, wrong view are all unwholesome. What are the roots of the unwholesome? Greed, hatred, delusion are all roots of unwholesomeness. Then what is the wholesome? Abstaining from destroying life, from taking what is not given, from engaging in misconduct with respect to sensual pleasures, from telling lies, from divisive speech, from harsh speech, and from idle chatter. Absence of intense desire, absence of maliciousness and right view are all wholesomeness. What are the roots of the wholesome? Non-greed, non-hatred, and non-delusion are all roots of the wholesome. This can be cited from the Sammatiti Right View Sutra, Majjhima Nikaya, Volume 1, 47. Avoid actions which bring real harm to others or oneself. In this passage, Gautama Buddha teaches his son Rahula, when he was a young novice monk under him, rather than focusing on the inner roots of bad and good actions as the above passage, he focuses on their consequences as the grounds for avoiding or doing them, whether or not they lead to dukkha, suffering for oneself or for others. Reflection on these aids wholesome action. Rahula, what is the purpose of a mirror? Venerable Sir, it has the purpose of reflection. Rahula, in the same manner, after repeated reflection, you should do bodily actions. After repeated reflections, you should do verbal actions. After repeated reflections, you should do mental action. Rahula, when you desire to do some actions with the body, you should reflect on the very action of the body thus. This action that I wish to do with my body, would this bodily action of mine be conductive to self-harm, and would it be conductive to the harms of others, or of both? Is it unwholesome? Does it have painful consequences? ripening and suffering. When reflecting, if you know this action of body should be conductive to self-harm and suffering, Rahula, if possible, you should not do such actions by body. Rahula, when reflecting, if you know this action that I wish to do with my body will not be conductive to self-harm, not be conductive to the harm of others, or both. Is it wholesome? It leads to the happy consequences, ripening in happiness. Rahula, you should do such actions of the body. Even while doing that action with the body, you should reflect on that very action of the body thus. Is this action that I am doing conductive to self-harm and suffering? Rahula, if that is so, stop doing that action. If you know this action of body is conductive to self-harm, then continue doing it. Or if this action of body is not conductive to self-harm, then continue doing it. Also, having done such action of the body, you should reflect. That action I did with the body, was it conductive to self-harm and suffering? When reflecting, if you know it was so, then you should confess, reveal, make known that action of body to the teacher or to the intelligent associates fearing the holy life. Having confessed, revealed, and made known, you should set yourself to restraint in the future. Rahula, when reflecting, if you know that this action of body I did was not conductive to self-harm and suffering, you should dwell with that very joy and gladness, training yourself day and night in wholesome qualities. The same is then repeated for verbal and mental actions. Rahula, whatever renunciants or Brahmins purify their bodily actions, verbal actions, and mental actions in the past, did so by repeated reflection in this manner. Whether a renunciant or a Brahmin will purify their body, purify their verbal and mental actions in the future, will do so by the repeated reflection in this manner. Whatever renunciants or Brahmins do purify their body, verbal, and mental actions at the present, do so by repeated reflections in this manner. Therefore, Rahula, you should train thus. Reflecting repeatedly, I will purify my bodily, verbal, and mental actions. This passage is cited in the Ambatlatika Rahulovata Sutra, Majjhima Nikaya, Volume 1, page 415 to 420. The golden rules of ethics in the Buddhist teaching. In the first passage spoken to a lay people who asked for the guidance on how to be successful in this life and happy in the next, Gautama Buddha gives a version of the golden rule of ethics, sila. Do not inflict on another being what should not like done to yourself, what you should not like be done to yourself. The second passage succinctly expressed the principle. What householders is the method of righteous living having reference to oneself? Here, householder, a disciple of the Noble One reflects, I am one who desires to live, not desiring to die, desiring happiness, disliking unhappiness. If someone were to deprive me of life, I, being one who desires to live, not desiring to die, desiring happiness, not desiring unhappiness, it would not be pleasing and dear to me. And if I were to deprive another person of his life, that other person being one who desires to live, not desiring to die, desiring happiness and disliking unhappiness, it would not be pleasing and dear to that other person. Whatever is not pleasing and dear to me is also not pleasing and dear to the other as well. How could I inflict upon another what I am not pleasing and dear to inflict on myself? He, having taken this into account, himself abstains from destruction of life, encourages others to abstain from the destruction of life, speaks in praise of abstention from the destruction of life. In this manner, his bodily behavior becomes pure in all three aspects. Again, upasika, householders. A disciple of the Noble One reflects thus: if someone were to take from me what was not given and committed what is reckoned as stealing, it would not be pleasing and dear to me if someone were to misbehave with my wives. If someone were to hinder my benefit by false speech, if someone were to break my friendship by divisive speech, if someone were to use harsh speech against me, if someone were to use idle chatter with me, so he likes it into the account and abstains from idle chatter, encourages others to abstain from idle chatter, speaks in praise of abstention from idle chatter. In this manner, his verbal behavior becomes pure in three aspects. This can be cited in the Velutariya Sutra, Samyutta Nikaya, Volume 5, 353 to 355. The next verse is cited from the Dhammapada, 130. All beings tremble at violence. Life is dear to all. Comparing others with oneself. Do not kill or cause another to kill. Dhammapada, verse 130. This is ethics on chapter 7 from Kusala and Akusala Kama. We will pick up on the next one at generosity. From chapter 7 of Ethics, Theravada tradition. A common Buddhist text, guidance and insight from the Buddha. Chief editor, Dr. Maha Dhamma Kosajan.